Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here, coming at you with a StarCraft commentary on a game between ZerO, aka Queen, and BeSt. And these two are going up against each other in the round of 8 of the Africa Star League. I believe at the time this video is going to get released, it's going to be tomorrow, but it's in the next day or two, basically. And these guys have a bit of a rivalry that they've developed over the years. They faced off in the KSL last calendar year as well. But here is a preview of them from the first game that they ever played against each other in professional play. And this is from the Proleauge from 2008. All the way back in 2008, they played in the Ace match between their teams. And Ace match is the final deciding match in the team league to say which team takes the entire set and advances, or, well, not advances, but gets that credit for the team league standings. And there's some BeSt fans in the audience right here. So it's kind of cool that, you know, these two players 12 years later are still at the top of their game, at the top of StarCraft, playing at the highest level. That is just really, really, really cool to me. And so let's go back to 2008, to the first game these guys ever played against each other, and watch how it unfolds. BeSt is on team SKT1. You can see them waving the T1 balloons around, I guess. I'm not sure what those things would be called. BeSt is on the T1 team, and ZerO at the time, who's now Queen. I'm going to call him ZerO just because I've kind of called him that for years and years, and it's just a little bit easier for me to remember to call him ZerO, especially because at this time his ID was ZerO. It was not Queen yet. So, but in any case, Queen was on the team Woonjin Stars, and previously the Hanbit Stars. So, yeah, SKT was definitely like a more powerful team, I would say. They made it to like the team league finals more than once, but the Stars were solid as well. So, and there you can see Free on the bench for the Stars as well. So in any case, so let's go ahead and get into this game. We actually have a Nexus first for BeSt. He's actually scouted ZerO, and he sees exactly what's going on in his base. He saw the hatchery first, and so he's like, alright, I'm safe to get my Nexus first. This map is called Destination, by the way. And because he knows that on this map, his choke point is good enough that he can actually make that Nexus, and he can still wall things off. We're going to see him put down a Forge after the Nexus, almost certainly, and then try and defend with cannons and what have you. As is still mostly standard in 2020, but as was definitely standard back in the day. And so you can see there, like, it's not like a very small choke that he can wall off entirely, but he can use the Nexus as part of a wall. And as long as he can keep anything from running by and going up his ramp, it's going to be fine. And this is interesting. We have ZerO trying to make a third base over at this side expansion area, and the probe is not having any of it. He actually makes an extractor to try and escape the probe. Did that refill the hit points of the probe, of the drone? I didn't, if that's the thing, I've been playing this game for 20 years, I didn't know that happened. Either that, or maybe it's just that it would only been hit once, and so I saw that the hit points were down, and it just healed back up to full in that moment when I just wasn't looking. So, in any case, we do have that Forge down as I expected, and a cannon going up next to it, and the gateway behind it. And that's kind of an interesting thing where that cannon is not going behind the gateway and Forge, and so that means that he's positioning that cannon, I think, to make sure that it's well positioned against Hydralisks coming over those bridges rather than against Zerglings. He's not worried too much about early Zerglings. I mean, he saw that their third base was going to go down, so he's like, all right, well, this guy's macroing. I don't need to worry about it too much. And remember, like I said, this is the first time they've ever played. I mean, it's possible they played in some preliminary at some point. But as far as like professional league games, this is the first time they ever met, so they may not be familiar with each other's style very much. And you know, ZerO was still not too well known in 2008. Now, actually, BeSt wasn't either. I would say 2008 was actually one of BeSt's better years. 2008 was the year, if I remember correctly, that he ended up going to the ASL finals. And ZerO didn't really get to that stage until, I could think, a year later, 2009 or 10. Of course, ZerO, you know, never winning a title in the Kespa era, which which this is a part of. But of course, ZerO definitely winning titles in the, I don't know what you call it, the modern era of StarCraft, I suppose. So, and there's another cannon. You can see those cannons again. They're in a perfect spot that they can hit. That the extent of their range is right, like an inch or so along that bridge, and so it's going to be a position where as things are coming across that bridge to attack him, then he'll be able to, the cannons will be able to hit them before they can clump up and do a focus fire basically on the cannon. So they're a little bit advantageous. I mean, if there was a group of Hydras running across those bridges, they would still be able to kind of chunk forward and attack the cannons and focus them down. But it's just a little tiny bit more efficient for those cannons in the place that they're put. Now the thing is though, is it's going to be difficult for BeSt to take a third base if he wants to at some point in time. It's going to be much more difficult to defend. So he's going to have to just build up his army and, you know, push out and not worry about a choke point, or not be able to depend on a choke point basically. So in any case, and you can see he's even blocking there. He was worried about maybe Zerglings running in and trying to do some sort of attack, because those cannons are vulnerable to Zerglings with their position on the outside of the wall. And BeSt is pushing out with a little force here, a few Zealots and a Dragoon moving out onto the map, and the Zerglings are mounting up outside there. I don't know if he spotted that. And this actually could be a risky spot for BeSt, because now those cannons are not defended at all. He actually pokes across, he sees the cannon. Is he going to go for it? He runs 3 Zerglings in. He sees that there's nothing stopping him. Is he going to run the rest of the Zerglings in as well? He's got 3 Zerglings in the main. They're scouting everything that's going on. Of course, BeSt has sent his Corsair to scout as well. Cannons going down in the main. And it's interesting because those cannons in the main were actually built because he's expecting Mutalisks to counterattack. And so he had those cannons going up luckily anyway. He wasn't expecting a Ling run by at this point. Otherwise, he wouldn't have moved those Zealots out of the way. And oh, he gets surrounded by these Zerglings. There's a lot of Zerglings there. The Zerglings that were at the front have come back, and they're going to full surround on this. They're going to kill every one of those units. And I don't think BeSt did any damage with that at all, actually. He maybe killed 1 drone. Obviously, he killed some Zerglings. But, yeah, I don't think he really did too much damage there. Mutalisks are out now, though. That poses a completely different threat. Now BeSt is going to have to kind of cower in his base a little bit. He does not have the air forces to deal with Mutalisks right now. He only has 2, I think, maybe 3 Corsairs at this point. And he stopped Corsair production, we can see there. He says, you know what, I'm just going to chill on these 2 Corsairs. I'm not going to try and contest the air. I'm just going to try to win the ground battle, basically. And DTs are now out on the map. Now, there's the thing. ZerO knows these DTs are coming. He ran those Zerglings in and got a perfect scout and was able to see the Templar archives. And so he's going to be prepared for this. One of the reasons why we see those sunken colonies. And we've got Overlords chilling above the sunken colonies as well. Of course, you know, if this was 2006 or 7 and it was Bisu, he probably would have built more Corsairs and tried to drive the Overlords off of the sunken colonies so that the Dark Templars could get in there and do more damage. But hold that thought. The DTs are in there. They're getting a few kills, but they're going to go down relatively quick. It looks like 3 kills on that Dark Templar before it dies. Is he going to go into the main with these Mutalisks? I don't think he has any Scourge along with him. 2 cannons and 2 Corsairs is not quite enough to deal with this, but he might not go in regardless. He does have 2 Scourge coming in. Oh, and the Archon morphing on the ramp. Oh, he is able to get it out of there. 100 hit points left on that Archon, though. So that Archon is actually in kind of mortal danger, and these Mutalisks are able to camp in between. There's only 3 Corsairs out. If he splits his Scourge evenly, the Scourge are chasing and chasing, and oh, the Scourge surviving. The cannons were not attacking the Scourge, and the Scourge do land actually on those Corsairs, and it looks like he did what I was thinking. He split the Scourge so that 1 Scourge landed on each of 2 Corsairs, and I'm not sure if that was intentional or not necessarily, but what that means is that that's going to make it so you don't have any overkill damage from the 2 Scourge. 2 Scourge is more than enough to kill 1 Corsair, so you spread out the damage a little bit better. It's a little bit more efficient because then the Mutalisks can theoretically kill off those Corsairs more easily. But you know what? He says, screw it, I want to pop those Corsairs. I want to get rid of them instantly. And more importantly, he's going to go into the main with these Mutalisks while the Scourge chase away the Corsairs, I think is his plan. Can he get into the right position? There's a there's a High Templar there. He doesn't probably have Storm yet. He's going in with the Scourge and the High Templar. The cannons are blocking the Scourge, but he's able to... Oh, the High Templar lives! The High Templar lives! It's probably got almost enough energy for a Storm now, and that is crucial. That High Templar living means that that is a crucial tool in blocking the Mutalisks from being able to come back in and continue ravaging his probe line. The Corsairs, you can see there just wasn't enough Corsairs. Looks like he's resumed making a couple more Corsairs, but there wasn't enough Corsairs to actually deal enough damage to those Mutalisks to stop them from just killing whatever they wanted, the cannons and the probes. Especially with the Scourge chasing them around. Is he going to go in for round 2? There might be 5 Corsairs. Looks like we have 4 Corsairs right now. He's going out with a squad of Zealots as well. So this might force ZerO to fall back with those Mutalisks in order to deal with the Zealots. He's going in with the Scourge. He's splitting them perfectly, attacking multiple Corsairs. He kills several of them, severely damages the other 2. There are just 2 Corsairs left, and so now the Mutalisks can do what they want to these Zealots. The Zealots need to decide, are they going to run back home to the cannons, or are they going to go in and attack while they're being damaged by these Mutalisks? And it looks like he spotted that Lurker, so he knows he can't go in there. But these Zealots are just taking free damage. BeSt is in a little bit of trouble right now. He does not have control of the air. And Zealots do not have jumping legs. They cannot go up in the air and attack those Mutalisks. They just soak up damage. Now here's the thing, is as we're seeing right now, these Zealots are a threat. The Mutalisks cannot go out on the map and threaten probes and threaten expansion bases, because if he does, there are enough Zealots there. They're powerful enough and they're just bulky enough and stalwart enough that they can run in and just kill a base before they die. They've just got so many hit points and so much stuff. I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't checked the upgrades, but they probably have armor upgrades as well. Nope, no armor upgrades. Just the +1 weapons at this point in time. These 2 Archons are crucial, by the way, as well, in stopping those Mutalisks from being able to completely rampage on the Zealots. So that's the reason why we have those there. Not quite as effective as a storm landing on a group of Mutalisks, but they definitely are more dependable. If you miss with your storm, that's it. But the Archon's just going to stay alive for a while. And I just say that as an Archon is about to die. It's on low hit points. If he targets it down, that Archon's going to go down. And there's a lot of Lurkers here. He has Observers, but he doesn't have any Storms for the Lurkers. So the Zealots clumped up are just taking tons of damage from the Lurkers. But there might just be way too many Zealots. And even though Lurkers in mass hard counter Zealots, there's just too many of them. And he actually moved them in amongst the Lurkers so they didn't get as much splash damage as possible done. And a dozen or more Zealots survive. And crucially, an Archon survives as well to escort those Zealots to make sure that they're not going to be too vulnerable to Mutalisk fire. But guess what? Now we're switching into Hydras as well. The Sunken Colony is still around. ZerO needs to defend this base. If he loses it, he'll also lose the bottom left base. The Zealots are running in. They're going, oh, there's the storm. We do have the High Templar coming in from the side. And there's another beautiful storm right on top of those Hydras, stopping them from finishing off the Archon. The Zealots are doing a lot of work over here, but the reinforcements are strong, and he doesn't have any storms left, I don't think. So these Lurkers are going to be very effective. It looks as if ZerO has lost a lot of drones. Most of the drones at this location have died, and a lot of Zerglings and Hydralisks. But it looks like he's going to save the base. He's going to save his Hydralisk den. He's going to save the gas. And that is a crucial victory in this battle, in this war for BeSt. And oh, there's the bottom left base. He's gone. He sent one. That's beautiful, beautiful play. Just send one Zealot down there just to harass. And ZerO doesn't look like he's noticed it. 5 kills on this Zealot, going up to 6. It's going to go to 7 or 8 if he doesn't pull those out. And it looks like that one Zealot, perfect distraction. Sending your whole army in one location while that battle is going on. Send one Zealot down. 9 kills. 9 kills on that Zealot. That is so much money. That is so much money. That's several hundred minerals just in the replacement cost of the drones. But it is an entire mining base. That one Zealot is the hero. He's going to go back to Ire triumphant and win a prize of some kind. He's going to go down in history as the Zealot that saved the day of the Battle of Destination. And he's got 10 kills under his belt. And now he's running for dear life. You can't spend your prize money if you're dead, and he's trying to survive. But I think he is eventually going to go down. But he'll have a plaque somewhere, I'm sure. He's going to get a scout in, actually, even as well. Is he going to get one more kill? No, not quite. But he's going to get a scout in there just to see if there's any other tech going on. He doesn't spot like an Ultralist Cavern or something crazy going on. Defiler Mound would be the more likely tech choice that we would see, but we don't see that yet. But we could see it very soon. ZerO is on 4 bases right now, and assuming he replaces the drones at the bottom left base, he'll be in good shape. But look at that base. Look at that base. BeSt has a very well defended third. All of this battle and harassment going on, even if BeSt was repelled finally, he did a lot of damage, but even if he hadn't, he bought himself time to get that third base up and to get his other tech and upgrades going and etc. So BeSt is in a pretty good position here. Oh, well, look at... Is that Archon stuck? Is the Archon stuck behind the little pillars? Maybe some High Templar were behind there when they turned into Archon. They got bigger. Oh, look at that. The Lurker Morph on top of the ramp to block the Zealots. That is cute. That is really clever. He cancels the Lurker Morph in order to free up those Hydralisks for more movement. Look at this field of Lurkers, by the way. And now he's more worried about... And he's actually containing BeSt. This is really interesting. He's got these Lurkers right... Remember that ramp where the cannons were in a perfect position? Well, those Lurkers are also in a perfect position to catch any units coming across those bridges. Not ramp, I should say bridges. Anything coming across those bridges is going to meet some focus fire of multiple... Oh, and he's diving into this left base, trying to finish it off. There's a lot of cannons there. The Zealots are going down. Meantime, BeSt is actually pushing out of his main as well. We've got battles on 2 different fronts at the same time. It looks like that left side base will be retained. It will be defended, while it looks like the contain will also hold on BeSt's main, though. So there's no option for a counterattack, really, because he can't break out, and all the forces on the left were killed, even though the cannons survived. We do have a Storm Drop coming in here that could do a ton of damage, though. I'm pretty sure there's some High Templar in that shuttle coming down the right side of the map. ZerO has no idea this is coming. He's got a lot of drones here. Is it Dark Templar? Oh, it's actually Dark Templar. He drops off 4 DTs. Oh, 4 DTs are going into the main. Does ZerO sit? He sees it! He sees it. He's going to retreat with most of his drones just in time. But they're going to go straight for the Hive. The Hive is morphing, but 4 DTs are going to do so much damage so quickly. Can they take out the Hive before it morphs? Before he's able to kill off these DTs? It's down to a 3rd health. Is he going to kill the Hive? He's going to kill the Hive. The Hydralisks come in. He's got vision, but can he kill it fast enough? He doesn't. He doesn't kill it fast enough. The Hive goes down, and that means the lair goes down too, which means there is no way for ZerO to get any higher tech for the rest of this game. He will not be able to afford the time and the resources to do that. BeSt just taken a huge advantage in this game. 3 bases to 4 is a pretty good position to be in for the Proleauge player until he mines out his main, which I'm not sure how close he is right now. But, wow, this is such an exciting game. Okay, he's morphing another lair. So I was thinking he can't afford the time or money, but he says, I can't afford to not have Defilers in this game. There's no way to win this game without Defilers at this point. You cannot beat a Storm army with just mass units, right? You need, and he's actually made some Mutalisks there, maybe to try and dive in and kill off the High Templar, but kind of abandoned them, and they did take some damage. All right, here he goes in with another attempt at an attack. BeSt is going for the kill. If he kills off this left side, ZerO's economy is in tatters, and BeSt will secure the game. Here he's going in. ZerO spreading out. He actually dodges a storm preemptively. The storms. Oh, actually, the observers are untouched there. But more storms going off. He's got a lot. He morphs into an Archon in the middle. The Lurker just going down and dying in the middle. I don't think ZerO has enough forces left here, unless he has a lot of reinforcements. We can see on the minimap he does have the reinforcements coming in. Is it going to be enough? Does he have extra storms? The Lurkers are there. Storms going in on the path of the reinforcements, stopping him from getting in close. And it looks like ZerO, though, just doesn't quite have enough. There's so many observers in the air that there's going to be no way for him to keep those Lurkers safe. And he's going in and attacking the extra base. The drones are being pulled. This is the last stand for ZerO. And I think he's going to be going down very soon here, because once he loses this base, it is curtains. The Scourge are coming in, just maybe thinking he could pick off the observers. But yeah, you can see it on ZerO's face. He is going to be leaving this game momentarily. Hydralisk then goes down as well. And, he's just so reluctant to leave right now because, this is the ace match. His team is depending on him to win this game. All of the efforts of the rest of his teammates, the 2 wins that his teammates have won thus far in this matchup, are just going to be, not go to waste, but they're, going to be all for nothing in the team standings here. BeSt wipes out that bottom left base. There's just nothing ZerO can do at this point. He's staying in this game because it's so hard to admit defeat in a situation like this, which is so important, but there's no... Okay, you know what? He got to Hive Tech after all, but, imagine if that Hive instead was 6 Defilers in the last battle, He would have had Defiler... If that Hive hadn't been picked off before it finished building, crucially, because... And, okay, ZerO's still staying in it, but here's, just a devastating rain of storms down there. There is no resistance. BeSt can just march right across the bridge and take over his natural if he wants to. He's even just going to morph that Archon right on the bridge there. And this is a choke point that's kind of difficult, but BeSt has such an advantage it doesn't even matter. Yeah, he's going to march right over. So that's going to be GG. But yeah, I mean, imagine if he had some Defilers in on that last battle, you know, to put down on top of the Archons and Dragoons. Zerglings and Lurkers with the Defilers are going to do literally 10 times better than without Defilers in a battle of that kind. So, oh god, this is just painful to watch now as a ZerO fan. There's the GG coming from ZerO. And, wow, so, remember, this game was played 12 years ago. 12 years ago. And these guys met multiple times during the Kespa era, regardless. Not multiple, well, not a lot, but they met a few different times. And actually, even though BeSt won this game, in the future games, I think they played 2 other times, and ZerO actually won the other 2 times that they played, which were also in Pro League games. But you know, this was a solid win for BeSt, and their first time that they ever matched up against each other. Is this game going to be playing in the back of their minds as they go into the ASL in a day or two? Absolutely not. No, it has no bearing on it whatsoever, because 12 years is a long time for them to change their skills, improve their play styles, and obviously the meta is just so much different now than it was back then as well. But kind of cool to get a little bit of a preview of the ASL match that's going to be going on. And if you want to watch that, it is going to be... I actually usually don't watch it live, and so I'm not sure if there's... if you go to Team Liquid, I'm sure you can find the link for the live stream if you want. It's going to be in the middle of the night, though, because it is in Korea time. But I usually go to the Africa Esports Twitch channel, and... I'm sorry, not Twitch channel, YouTube channel, and you just search for Africa Esports, and you'll find it. And you can find the VODs and stuff there. So, but... check that out. And I think they play it live on this channel, YouTube channel as well. So if you want to watch BeSt versus ZerO 12 years in the future from what we just watched, that's the place to do it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching, and GG. Take care and have a good one.